Hello Linux lovers, my name's Wimpy. Welcome to my world. Thank you all again for joining me. Right, we're gonna go through some bug fixing again this evening. This time for the Marco window manager, which is part of the MATE desktop. That's the default window manager in Ubuntu MATE, and is now the only window manager in Ubuntu MATE since 1910. I hope the audio's sounding good and we're not having another Barry White moment. I sounded like a chipmunk earlier when I did a test recording. Hopefully it's all fine. Let me know if it's gone horribly wrong. We can do a reset. Hello Mike. Hello Carly Loves Linux. Hello Bill, Youssef, Paul, Yannick in the chat. Thank you for joining again. Right, and in addition to Marco, there's a bug that exists where if you've got a prior version of Ubuntu MATE and you upgrade, like if you upgrade from 1804 to 2004, then you may end up with a broken Compiz configuration. So I'm going to have a look at that one, hopefully fix it. If not fix it completely, then at least make a start on it. Kai likes Linux. I'm sorry, just it's my, you can see the glasses, right? From here, small fonts in the chat, it looks like Carly. I just see this as Carly, as in Carly Linux. So hello Kai. I'll try and get that registered in my brain this time. Right then, so where shall we start? Well, the first thing we should do is probably get ourselves over here. Right, let's start with, we need a browser for sure, don't we? So what are we going to look at? We'll start actually, plot twist, we'll start with a quick package update. So I noticed, not this package, but this, no, where is it? Where's it gone? Here. I noticed that I released the last version of MATE HUD on May the 7th, and since then I'd merged a fix from Victor, who's one of the MATE contributors and Ubuntu MATE contributors, and I haven't done a release since, or maybe I have actually. Let's just check. Maybe I have done a release and I just haven't tagged it very clearly. No, I haven't done. Oh, I have. No, hang on. This is all very confusing. Let me just double check this here. Okay, I have done a release. I just haven't tagged it. So actually, nothing to see here. We can forget about that. So the first thing we're going to take a look at is this here. In Marco, the new version of Marco for 1.24, there's been some... I'm just looking at the chat and everyone says it sounds echoey. One moment. Okay. Has that made any difference at all, or is it still echoey? I tell you what. Okay, let me take a look at that. So I will just see what we can do about fixing that. Okay, how's that looking. Is that still echoey or is that okay? No, there isn't another live mic. It's weird. I think OBS is playing up, you know. I had this the other day where the audio interfaces being displayed were behaving differently, just as bad. Well, I wonder what we can do about that. Probably nothing. Let me try one other thing. Is there any improvement at all? Let me know. I'm just waiting for the chat to catch up. This is fun, isn't it? Gosh. What does NOP mean? It's broken? Awesome. Right, okay. I'm sorry, everyone. There's no way to fix this other than to kill the stream and to spark up a... I wonder if I can leave... I wonder if I can leave the stream open whilst I'm not streaming. Well, stick around. Hang around the YouTube area. I'm not sure what to do about this, since I can't actually hear the problem. And rebooting... I'll tell you what, I've got one last thing to try. Let's give this a go. hello again. So, if you can hear music, does it sound right? And how am I doing? Do I sound like I'm working? Okay. Well, I have just learned that if you're fast enough, you can kill OBS in the middle of a live stream and bring it back. Right. We're going to hashtag blame Pulse Audio for that one. What did I do? I suppose this is a good topical thing. What did I do? My failed attempts were to use Pulse Mixer to disable my audio device that I was using, you know, just at software level, and re-enable it. That didn't work. So then I, after confirming it hadn't fixed it, disabled it again, muted, unplugged the audio interface from USB to hard reset it, plugged it back in, no change. So then I did those things again, but this time I shut down OBS and quickly restarted OBS again. So I think it's something to do with OBS and Pulse Audio. So Lennart. Right then. Right, sorry for that little interlude. I wonder if I should clip that out later. Probably not, can't be bothered. Right, so back to the business at hand. Audio issues aside. Gosh, running pre-release software on a live stream, it's a bad idea, isn't it? Marco's seg faults. This is known to be a problem, so we're going to fix that. And brilliantly, a drive-by committer in the Mate desktop project sent us a pull request about a month ago. And having conferred with Victor, who does the lion's share of the work in Marco, he says this patch is the patch you want. So we're going to do something a bit like what we did yesterday, which is to go and grab this patch and blend it into the Debian package, because there hasn't been an upstream release of Marco with this fix included. So we're going to add this patch to our Debian packaging, and I'm going to need a code editor in order to get some stuff done there. So we'll put that one there, and we'll... Oh, hello. That's exciting. Oh, it helps if you're on the right screen, Martin. There we go. Let's go and have a look where we are. Now, we've had an attempt to fix this in Ubuntu Mate for the QA team probably a couple of months ago, and it didn't work out. So we've got an older version of a fix, which wasn't a fix, in there. So because I do all of my packaging for Mate Desktop in Debian, we're going to make this changing in the Debian packaging so that they get to benefit directly as well. The package we're working on is Marco, and if I do a look at the status here, so there we go. Look, we can see I've got uncommitted changes, which was an attempt to fix this patch. So if I look at the change log, when did we have a stab at this? 17th of February. So, yeah, what, 5 weeks ago, something like that. And we attempted to fix a couple of bugs and it didn't work out. So, let's just check on the chat, seeing as though we've had some problems. What did I do? I've explained that. Oh, hello, Sneaky Linux. Nice to see you here. Thanks for coming along. Hello, Luther, Tech Tim, Colin Piper, Dan, Luke. So Luke, who's in the chat I work with, and he told me today in a meeting that he used one of my live streams to fall asleep to. So I've tried to do this one around his bedtime, so that's convenient timing. Right, let's kick on with this. Now, I just need to check if Mike Gabriel has made any changes to Marco upstream. So I'm just going to take a quick look in Debian Git to see if there's anything up there that I might be interested in. Looks like there was a change 3 weeks ago. 1 month ago. Let's have a look then. Okay, that's fine. Looks like those changes were me actually putting the new version into Debian. So no upstream changes that I need to be mindful of, which is good. This makes it super convenient for me. Because what I can do is repurpose some of the changes I've already started making. So let's just make this bigger. We'll need to change that, and we'll also need to look in the Debian patches. This is where packages get lumped. This last patch was pretty extensive, I seem to remember. Yeah, look at all this. This new patch is way smaller. I seem to remember. Right, let's go and get said patch. We'll give it a new name. So it's here. This is, again, the trick I use just to stick the dot patch on the end of a GitHub PR. Now, I'm like last night, I'm not going to download the patch. I'll download the diff, because as you can see, this is a good example. Patch 1 of 3. So there's one there, and then there'll be another patch header here. I've missed one somewhere in the middle. There. We don't want all of that. What I'll actually grab is this, which is as if you've done a squash commit. So all of those get merged together into one tidy patch, which I can apply. The reason I reference this is because I've got details of what changed here, which I'll be referring to. So let's just take a look at I think all of these will just sum up as so we'll just call that fix seg faults, and we'll update the series file and just replace my patch with this one. So that's that done, and now we can remove, and I don't need to remove it with Git because I've not actually committed these. These have been sitting around in my sync thing for a while. Oh, hello. I've made a big mistake, haven't I? Where did I? Oh no, it's in the right place. So the first thing I can do is I can just make sure that patch applies, and it does. And this is my super secret signing key password. So that built. So I know that that patch applies against the current 1.24. As this is a whole new patch, I'm just going to rev my little thing here, and we now know this patch is called fix seg faults. Now, I've got these closing statements here for a couple of bugs. There were a couple of bugs the QA team pointed me out. I'm not sure if these are the same bugs, so I'm going to need to check in on that. But before I do, I will just see what's going on in the chat. Okay. Someone suggesting I can just say fix later and forget about it. No, we don't do that. At least I try to do it as little as possible. Hi Farron, Farron OS developer has stopped by again. Good to see you here. Thanks for joining again. Right, yes. So yeah, can do these all the live long day now. The UK is completely locked down. Everyone stay at home. Gatherings of more than 2 people are outlawed. Brilliant. So I would be down the pub, but fortunately the last of the beer I got a bit desperate yesterday. I didn't realise I'd got some beer in the spare fridge. I was drinking the dodgy beer. It was not good. Right, so I need to look at some patches. So we'll just take, let's take this one. Let's see what this one referenced first. It's quite possible that these few lines are going to close a whole bunch of bugs. So again, using the pad.love, we're going to shorthand this to go directly to that bug that I've just copied out of that change log. So meta frame bounds, so that's the same bug, and there's a duplicate of that bug. That's good, so I don't need to keep that reference around. And this one is 66657, which is different to this one. So let's go and look at this one. So if any of you are new to this live stream, you're probably wondering what the heck's going on. So I am the project lead for Ubuntu MATE. It's my passion project. It's what I work on in my spare time. And it occurred to me that most evenings I'm going to be sitting here doing nothing anyway. Well, not doing nothing, sitting here doing this sort of thing. But I'll be sat here on my own doing it. And talking to my friend Popey, we thought that maybe, like him, I should live stream some of the stuff that I'm doing so people can see what goes on and maybe learn from it, maybe get inspired to, you know, level up your contributions to Ubuntu, or insert name of your favorite distro. Because hopefully what you're learning is this stuff is not hard. If I'm doing it, I'm sure all of you could do it admirably as well. This one is... well, it's definitely that one's going to be get fixed. Ah, there, okay, and that one, okay. Okay. I'm just comparing this retrace entry here to see where it crashed, to see if I think that this is actually going to close this bug. It looks like it's in the right ballpark. I'm not going to go super deep on this. I just want to see if it's most likely the issue. Yeah, it looks to me like this is the same symbols, same methods, sort of functions rather than not methods. It's C. Right, okay. We're gonna take that one and what have we got here? We got 431 6657. Ah, hang on a minute. This is a different bug. This is not a bug that's being fixed by this issue. So that bug 6657 is not going to get fixed by this, which is good. So the two that I have listed up there are the right two, I think. That's looking good. Right, okay. So what we'll do now is just go and edit the that patch file to, first of all, put the author in. I love commits like this. So this has been a reasonably long-standing issue with the new version of Marco, and we've been struggling to track it down. And then somebody just turns up out of the blue. They haven't contributed to the project before, and they get right into the weeds of a complex bit of software and submit a few lines of code in a PR that fixes the problem. And we'll probably never hear from them again. This is one of the things I love about working on open source software. I love these drive-by committers. I think it's great. So we're going to pick up a number of these comments to explain what this is fixing. And then the last of the patches is... oh, this was actually done by Rabbit, wasn't it? I think this last one, this was formatting fix up. Okay, so let's leave that there, and we'll just take this author's details here. So that patch is now correctly formed. Those are in fact the two correct bugs that are being referenced. I'll just manually fudge this. It is Monday still. It's now the 23rd, however. 23. Right, so that should still patch fine. It does. And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to put that in the PPA where the Ubuntu MATE QA team hang out, so that they have access to that. Now, this is notoriously difficult to reproduce this. Bill, if you're in chat, have you actually found a way to reproduce this one? If so, I'll give you some time to test it. If not, I'm going to look for a successful build, make sure it builds on all the architectures from source, and if it does, I'm going to deposit that in the archive, I think. Oh, I've just noticed something. I found a Debian extension, a Visual Studio Code extension, and I've just noticed the effect of it here. We can close that window there. The extension is called Debian, and it's syntax highlighting for Debian packaging. And I think this is the... well, I did do some last night, but I didn't spot it, but I've just realised it. I've got some colorized bits and pieces. I rather like that. Okay, I'll just have a look in chat whilst that's building, and in fact, whilst it's building, I'll explain again for those of you that are new here. Ooh, you know what I've forgotten to do, don't you, everyone? Every time we do one of these, Martin forgets to do this. So let's just turn off the flipping in the NVIDIA GPU. That's done. I really need to put that in a startup profile. Right. So Launchpad has builders. This is the build farm. Type that correctly? I think so. There we go. There's how many have we got today? 228. And there's currently a bunch of jobs running on the ARM boxes, and it says that the Intel builders are empty, and that is clearly lies. So the counter's not working, but there seems to be plenty of capacity. So if we just go and take a look in that PPA, we should see that that's off and working. Do remind me if the fonts are too small. I try to make sure that I start these with fonts set at something hopefully readable. Launchpad has notoriously small fonts, however, so hopefully this is good enough. So what are we looking at here? Right, so there's my old Marco look, which was an attempt to fix this, and here's the new one building at the moment, and that's currently building on the AMD 64 builders, and that's pulling down, sucking down packages and all the rest of it. So whilst that's doing that, I'll just catch up in the chat. So, hello Eric, how are you doing here? Oh, it looks like I've missed a lot of discussion. Bit of political chat here about the state of the UK now that we're in. Do we call it lockdown? Is that what we're calling it when we have to stay at home? We're not allowed out and all that sort of thing. And Dan Llewellyn, who's in the chat here, we're basically neighbours. I mean, you're, as the crow flies, just a few miles from me. Bill's pointing out bug references. Bill, if I referenced all of the right bugs in that changelog, if I've overlooked one, just let me know. Paul M got some whiskey and gin yesterday. Yeah, so I had the foresight to book a shopping delivery. I don't know, over a week ago, before everyone freaked the F out. And that's arriving tomorrow, and there is copious amounts of gin and Bacardi and whiskey and beer and wine and all sorts in there, because we've actually not we've been isolated now for a week, I think, or at least my wife and daughter have. I was elsewhere for a little while, so yeah, we can't avoid it. Yes, I've now turned the NVIDIA page flipping off. And Kai points out that Ubuntu Lumina is their favourite distro, which I believe they are in the middle of bootstrapping at the moment, so I should be looking forward to that. Excuse me whilst I'm just being silent, catching up here, so... Oh, right, Sneaky, that's interesting. You're in a part of the world that I am very familiar with. Yeah, my a lot of our family live down in your neck of the woods. In fact, that's where I was. International grill. Yeah, why not? Let's have an international grill. With a bit of luck, I've got some meat arriving tomorrow. We've been vegetarian for the last couple of days because that's all we had left. Oh, right, okay. I saw a status chat. It's still building. Okay, so Bill has got a VM up and running. He's ready to test it when it arrives. I do love it when you lot come along here. So I've got, I don't feel so alone. It's lovely. I said this last night, but I genuinely mean it. It's really great. Yeah. So Yannick's asking, as we've got a lot of tech people here, what would be the best way to install Windows on this PC without nuking my 1804 install? Asking for a friend. You go and get the Epic Quick MU, which now has Windows 10 support. I did a live stream about that. And then, right, for gaming. Yeah, it won't be great, so that's not a solution. I will look at adding IOMMU support at some point to Quick MU. If there's anyone who knows about Windows, maybe you can give Yannick some advice. I'm not your man for that. I'm well out of date on Windows stuff. Right, okay, so I think I've mostly caught up there. Somebody said something about cinnamon. I just saw, where was that comment? Joshua from Ubuntu Cinnamon is helping me out. Oh, excellent! That's terrific. That's nice to hear that the emerging flavours that are making their remixes at the moment are collaborating with one another. That's terrific. Oh, this is bad. Bother. So that failed to build from source. This is not good. Ah, this is fine. Okay, that's fine. There's a symbol change. What have we... Why is there a symbol change? This must have been overlooked when we did the SO bump. Oh, no. I know why. No, I know why. This has failed because there was a symbol change introduced by the patch that I had previously. And now we've removed that patch and replaced it with this one. This doesn't change the ABI in any way, but this is complaining. So I actually need to go in and... why is that not showing up as a... Well, more questions than answers, but I know what the issue is. This is an unexpected detour. Oh man, look at that. I'd started committing this. Okay. Right. Let's see if... I'm going to do something that I don't normally do when I'm working on Debian projects. I'm going to use Gitkraken to see if I can unbreak this. Right. What am I working on, Marco? Why did I start committing it? What a wally. Just going to save myself some time though. Okay. Let's just get all of this in here just in case. So I'm going to force reset the Git repository because I don't need these commits that I've put in here. And I absolutely don't want to revert them and then push up a bunch of nonsense reverted changes to the project. So I'm not going to do that. Right, so Gitkraken. I want to... Where is it? There's reset master, hard, discard all changes. There we go. So whilst we're here, we'll just make sure that there's no changes. No, there aren't. Now hopefully, yes, excellent. Oh, what have I just done, you Wally? Martin. Did I have that in here? I think I did. I've managed to overwrite the very change I was trying to preserve. Let's see if I got lucky. Let's see if my history... it's tight. There it is. Whoa! Got away with it. That's going to have to be 2.1 now. Right, let's have a look here. Yeah, so yeah, IOMMU is fiddly. It's somewhat machine specific as well, so I'm not sure if I want to entertain it as a general purpose solution. Right. Nassif says, wow, so much Electron. Yeah, I do have some Electron apps here, and that's because they're amazing. And they save me a bunch of time. Right then. I think I've got all the patches that I need, the patch references I need in here, Bill. If you're still there, I think I've accounted for everything we needed. That's 2318 now. Right, so that's the changelog entry. We're now going to resave the series file. This should be a clean, is now a clean patch. So let's rebuild that. And this time we're putting up 2.1. So this should build, because the symbols file. So what happened there is this. There's a file in here. This is to track SO bumps. You're probably familiar with shared object files, and you might notice from time to time that you know, the number on the end of the SO file changes, and the way that's tracked is in symbols files. Oh, I've gone into patches, don't want to be there. Here we go. And this outlines all of the functions in this library and the version of the package that they were introduced or changed. And as you can see, Marco 1.22 was something of a big change. We had to resync a whole bunch of stuff there. They didn't all change, but a lot of them did. Right, okay. We should now be in the position that that is going to work. So let's see if that new package has landed in the PPA and is building. Yeah, that one's off and running. So what we'll do is we'll open up these two, which were the previous builds for ARM, and as they are running, and I know I don't need them, I'll just be a good citizen and cancel those, so that that'll free up a slot in the build queue for anyone else that wants to build some ARM packages. Right, okay, let's have a quick catch up in the No, so Dan, I haven't actually pushed that stuff, and I didn't want to push a bunch of changes with that were gash, basically. They like to keep quite good git commit hygiene in Debian, and I try and do my part there. If it was my own project, I'd have fudged it. Hello, Monica. How are you? Corinzin, is that how I'm saying that? It says, thank you for being the Electron champion of my Linux podcasts. Yeah, I don't know if I'm an Electron champion so much as, you know, Electron is helping bridge that parity gap that we have with, you know, Linux and the the other platforms, and if the other platforms are implementing their applications in Electron, like Visual Studio Code, like Gitkraken, like Skype, like Spotify, like Steam, by the way, that uses Chromium embedded frameworks, which is kind of the precursor to Electron, then you know, it improves our computing landscape. So I'm not opposed to it, and some of them are very good. Gitkraken and VS Code. I wouldn't want to go back to what I had before, for sure. That would be miserable. But you know, there's other games in town, so maybe someday soon I shall be championing a different technology from out of our usual circles. And by maybe I mean I will. But that's for another day. Yeah, so the native thing is never going to happen, unfortunately, Corazin. Because yes, we can have, you know, the likes of the Elementary team and the GNOME community and the KDE community making excellent applications for their desktop environments and what have you. You know, I'm working on Mate right now. You know, there's some, it's mostly utilities and tools in Mate that are contributed by the community rather than wholesale applications. We get to benefit from the rich ecosystem of GTK applications. But, you know, there are many organizations around the world who are not going to target native applications on Linux. They are going to choose the path of least resistance. You know, if you look at something like Lightworks, that has their own sort of UI toolkit that they use on all of their products across the platforms. So that's how they solve that, by having their own, you know, a bit like Blender in a way, you know, with its own UI. And then others are using Electron, and the advantage of Electron is that it uses web technologies, of which there are people skilled up on in abundance. Right. Yep. Yeah, and Eric is sort of echoing my... and I think there's something better than Electron, and you'll be hearing from me about that in due course. But I'm tight-lipped at the moment. Right, okay, that's enough chit-chat. Now, the other one I was going to have a go at fixing is a little bit more complex. Yay! Right, that one's built. That may take a while, Bill, before it actually turns up in the PPA. But what you can do, did you see what I just did there, Bill? I open up this latest version and click on the green tick. Here are your packages for AMD 64. You don't need the ddeb files. Don't download those. But if you download all of the debs, except for that, you don't need the dev package. But if you don't need the symbols. So if you download this one, Common, and Marco itself, and you install those in your VM, you can test it. Nice one. I see Bill is on it like a bonnet. So the next one was a bit more involved, and there was quite the conversation, and it turns out I missed an email that is at the heart of all of this. So I was tagged on this, but I only found out about this last night, and it seems that they've been removing the desktop specific configuration files from the upstream Mate project, and I'd entirely missed this. So the config that I had put into Compiz to support Mate is missing, and that means that if you upgrade from an earlier release of Ubuntu Mate to 2004 and you happen to be running Compiz, it will be all kinds of broken, and we want to avoid that kind of breakage. Linux Debbie, and you're welcome. Thank you for stopping by the stream. And everyone that's in the comments, if you haven't subscribed yet, please subscribe. We need 2,000 subscribers to unlock the community tab, which will enable us to do so much more than just these. We'll be able to coordinate some things outside of these live streams, which will be good. Mash the like button. You have to do that too, and the silly bell. Why they invented that bell is beyond me. It's a ridiculous situation. Subscribing should be all you need to do. Yes, I did not respond. I feel terrible about that. I didn't realise. So I then opened up these merge proposals here, which is where they remove the configuration which was required by Unity. So that happened. And then there was another one here where I think, yeah, Kershid is the guy who's trying to preserve Unity in the Ubuntu archive, and I think is aspiring to bring back like an Ubuntu Unity remix. Yeah, so I read through this and I eventually, oh gosh, where was it? Was it this one? Ah, it was here. It was this diff. So I need to reproduce some of this. What package was this in Unity itself? The bit here, this is a thing, so I need to introduce some what are called breaks and replaces lines like this, and this is a feature of Debian packaging that melts my brain every time I encounter it. So I was quite pleased that I found a reference here to how this has been done for Unity, so that I can try and do the same for Mate. So what I intend to do is pick up the last version of the configuration that was shipped in Compiz for Mate Desktop, pull out that configuration file, stick it into the Ubuntu settings package, and put this replaces thing in to hopefully have a seamless transition. And I can do that and stick it in a PPA, and then I will be politely asking the Ubuntu MATE QA team to then test an upgrade with that PPA enabled. Did you hear the words I just said there? That presents an interesting challenge, doesn't it? Cross that bridge later. With that PPA enabled, by some means, to see if the upgrade works. Gosh. Yeah, we can do this. You can upgrade without the PPA enabled, do the upgrade, and immediately after the upgrade is finished, turn the PPA on, upgrade your packages, and gosh, this is going to be icky. We're going to have to pin some stuff to or I just cowboy it and hope that I've got it right and it goes into the archive. Okay, we'll have a think about that. Right, let's just see what's going on here. Corazin, okay, so you're a Davey504 fan as well. Me too. I think he's brilliant. If you're wondering what the Slappers Slap Like Now reference is about, Davey504 is amazing. Would the discussions work well temporarily? I'm not sure. I haven't experimented with that. Maybe somebody who knows more about YouTube than me can answer this. Does the discussions tab go away when the community tab gets enabled? I was reluctant to start using one thing and then say to everyone, stop using that thing, start using the other thing. I was like gonna just, you know, wait for the community tab and do it all through there, because it's a much richer tool. Yeah, Corazin, my guilty pleasure too, Davey504 for sure. So the effects. Careful what you wish for. My daughter and I were playing around with that to try and do that live in OBS. So that may be a thing my daughter and I are working on. Right. Okay. Let's just take a quick look. Oh yeah, Bill is off testing, isn't he? So I need to go and find a version of Ubuntu, the Compiz package which had the settings intact. And we should be able to see that in the source package Compiz, I think. Oh goodness, this has been transitioned. They're a big fat mess after this happened. So let's think, well, where are we now? We're in Focal. So that one will do. Where did these files go? Because I can't. It's ages since I did this. It was one of the first things I did when I worked on when I started work on Ubuntu MATE was to add Compiz support. So it's approaching 5 years since I've actually been in this package in any serious way. Well, it is a plugin. Nope, that's not it. I don't want to check out the source. Come on, brain. Remind me where this stuff lives. Oh, it might be in here, actually. There it is. There's the install file. There it is. That is it. So, that's the first thing we need. Oop, crikey. And I think that is the size of it. And the other thing I need to know is where the heck did that go? In Etsy Compiz. Oh, and I was also doing that as well. Okay, so that goes in Etsy Compiz config. I just need to make sure and see what's happening with that desktop file, because I wonder if they're removing that as well. If they are, what do I do about that? Right, let's go and see the newer version. Oh. Okay, good. Okay, so that desktop file is still being installed. So the only thing I need to concern myself with is the missing configuration. Right. Just catch up here. Yeah, Popey and I tried doing a channel together. Turns out people weren't so interested. That's our little pet project, which is battling away at 8-bit computer games from the past. Yes, dev packaging is an art, let's say that. Some would say it's a dark art, but it's an art for sure, and not a science. Well, yeah, I suppose it's a science, but it's there's so much interpretation. This is quite an annoying change, to be honest with you. I don't know why they felt that they needed to remove this stuff. I mean, the functionality's still in the package, so why not ship the configuration for it? I don't get it. Right, we're all up to date there, so we'll just make sure we haven't got any outstanding code, just a tag. Right. Oh, man, what do I do about this? Yeah, oh, yeah, okay. Okay. So I'm just going to look at the control file. This is broken up into a couple of files, I think. One for the live settings and one for the default settings. The default settings are obviously the defaults. The live settings are an overlay of some overrides on the top of the defaults. So I want to put this in the default package. So this is the install for the default settings, and you will remember that there was a file here. So it mate.ini goes in here, there in fact. So we'll just take that directory as is, save that, and we'll now save this in the appropriate hierarchy. Okay, so that's saved in the right place. And then the other thing we need to change in this control file for the default settings is a replaces line, which I'm going to steal directly from one of these where they fixed it. Which one was it? It was this one here, this replaces line here. And obviously we need to change that to Compiz Mate. So that should do what we need, I think. I'm just going to catch up in chat just to make sure whilst I think about that, because I just need to give that a moment's consideration. Oh, Corinzin, I'm glad you like the 8-bit stuff. Hello, Adam. Thanks for joining the chat. Oh, I see. So Daniel Llewellyn is suggesting that we don't stream together, but we have a stream, that a channel that we share. I think that boat has sailed. We've started down there. Mind you, I've only got like, well, you lot subscribe to the channel, so I could have a change of course, I suppose. Popey's got a rather more impressive subscriber count than me. However, he might not want to change tack. He's got over the magical 2000, see. Right, okay. Okay, so I think that's fine. Didn't we make this change? No, it wasn't last night. We didn't change this package last night. Right, let's start prepping this then for an upload. So Bill, how about this? If you're still there. I think this is busted in Focal. If you do a right, so first of all, I think Bill is saying that maybe the Marco fix is okay in that it definitely doesn't break anything new. So I think we'll get that uploaded to the archive in just a moment. But Bill, here's an idea for you. Is your VM a clean install of 2004, like from a daily image from the last few days? If so, it will be missing the Compiz package. So you could install Compiz, which will be busted, don't start it. And then with this package update, it should bring in the right configuration and work. I'm feeling pretty good about this. I'm feeling good about this change. I'm gonna start making it. So, okay, so Compiz is indeed not installed. Okay, in the Ubuntu MATE 1910 release notes, not release notes, blog post, Bill, there is instructions how to install Compiz, should you want it. So what I suggest is install... Oh, hang on a minute. I need to go and check something else. I've just thought of something. Right, I need to make sure that that Compiz MATE package was user share Compiz config. There's more to this, isn't there? Okay, no, this is slightly... Oh, man. This isn't going to work, is it? This isn't going to work. So what I'm just considering is that the Compiz MATE package still exists and installs a file. So I can't replace it because it will not have the configuration file that it needs. that's a different bug. Because there is still a package here called Compiz Mate. Let's look at that desktop file. What's in that? Where's that composed from? It's not in here. Shouldn't be in there. Where is that coming from then? Come on, chop chop. I've seen those in Marco. Is that the same one I've just hit? Get dropped, it must have been ages ago. God, okay. Right, I'm having a bit of a hard think here because I've not encountered this situation before where I've got a package providing half of the files that another package. This is not ideal. So hang on, I see that Bill has been typing in the chat here again. Right, let's catch up then. Hello Bastian, welcome to the stream. You're welcome, glad you've been enjoying what we've been up to. Okay. Compiz Mate does exist in Focal. Yeah, I thought so. It's fine. It's fine. Let's just go with this. I will figure out the complicated bit as a separate action. Right, let's let's get back to where we were. So, Bill, do you know if is there a bug for this, for people upgrading from 1910 2004 that we should cite? Yeah, the Compiz breakage when people upgrade. I think it's something that you and Norbert found by actually testing, but I don't know if there's a bug for it. There doesn't have to be, but if there was, I'd reference it here. Right. Here you go, Bill. I'm going to set everything on fire. This is going up into the PPA. So I'm going to actually get myself set up to test this as well, because why the heck not? So let's get that. So I'm going to Z-Sync the new ISO today, or last night's ISO, over the top. If you're new here, you might not have seen this before. Z-Sync is a way to pull down a binary delta over the daily ISO based on the last one you had. I think mine's a few days old. And it will just pull down the differences between what I have and what's available now. So it means you don't have to download 2.5 gig every time you want to do ISO testing. It's a huge time saver, even with my crappity internet. Anyway, it's beer o'clock here. A long time ago and not now. Ah, no, it could be. It could be from now because I'm downloading all the bandwidths, aren't I? Bother. Reconnection successful. That was alarming. I've never seen that notification before. Hopefully it's fine. Yes, so somebody says I spy GNOME 3. Yes. I'm sure many of you here know this, but I started Ubuntu MATE as a community interest project some time ago, about 6 years ago now, I think it was. God, it's been that long. 5 years ago, something like that. And no, this is my third LTS, so yeah, 6 years. Since then, I was hired by Canonical. And I initially joined the desktop team, and I've been around a few other teams along the way, and I'm now back on the desktop team, and in fact I lead the desktop team at Canonical now, so I am obviously running Ubuntu GNOME full-time on all my machines, because that's my job. I do have 2 laptops in my laptop box there for testing at the weekends, but I've just had a tidy up in the office, so they're away at the moment. And also I can't have laptops and stuff out whilst I'm doing all of this, it's too busy. Ah, right, excellent. Thank you, Bill. Bill has sent me a bug number. So let's go and open that one up and see if this is indeed appropriate. Perfect. Technically this is low. Install that, reboot, login and select Compiz window manager in MATE tweak. Compiz is selected, the Windows borders, the expected result is it does not have any of those things. Okay, this is a good bug number. We'll drop that from there because it doesn't need to be allocated twice. Oh, why did it remove that? I'm sure I could do that. In progress. So let's cite that bug. The reason we do this is, one, that changes can be linked to issues if they exist, and more importantly, when this gets uploaded to the archive, it will automatically close that bug with that package being introduced to the archive. Oops. So let's go and have a look in Launchpad Builders. Goodness, I've lost track of, I've got so many things open. Well, there we go. So hopefully there's a MATE settings package in here somewhere now. There it is, and it's built. For all the architectures, pending publication. So whilst that's getting up to speed, we'll get this going. So I'm going to use my quick mu script, which is a front end to QEMU. And we're going to run up the Ubuntu MATE Focal. Oh, hello. What have I done here? Oh, I'm actually in the directory, and also I need to edit that because I think this has got some pass-through on it that I don't want at the moment. Yeah, that will break things. Right. Ah. Right, I'm going to blow away my VM and start a new one. I think that's going to load it on my main screen, so I'll have to bring that down. So here is today or yesterday's ISO getting going. How are we doing in the chat? How is everyone? All safe and well? Have you got beer? Cool. That was loud. We'll just head straight into the installer, I think. Oh, actually, no, you won't. See if we can do this entirely in the live session. That'll be good for a giggle, won't it? Ooh, that's new. Pretty. So I'm just heading to the Ubuntu MATE website because I documented how to install Compiz if you were on 1910 and you missed it. Here it is, just here. Here are the steps. Right, so that's on, and if I now head to Launchpad, I'm going to go and grab... missed a character there. Oh, it's American keyboard. There we go. I'm going to grab that package that's built, that settings package, and install it manually. So Kai is asking, which distro do you run as your daily driver? So Ubuntu Focal on all my computers, and that's stock regular Ubuntu, proper Ubuntu. And then I've got two laptops that I use for testing Mate desktop, actually like on hardware. So one of them has got is the Entroware Athena, and that's like an all Intel system, a fairly typical sort of laptop configuration, an i3 from a few years ago. And I've got a Dell XPS 15, which has got hybrid graphics. So I use those two to test, and then I've got my ThinkPad P1 is my main laptop, and that's running Ubuntu Focal, and then this workstation's running Ubuntu Focal. To be honest with you, you know, the flavors, they are Ubuntu with a different desktop environment on top, you know, so that's really the distinction. You know, there's no other differences between the flavors in terms of their underpinnings and how they're technically put together. It's like Ubuntu plus the desktop environment and whatever nuanced bits in between it needs to deliver that desktop environment. That's the one I want. So we'll there's a new feature there. That's a new feature of Ubuntu Mate. Look, see that? I haven't opened that one yet. Can't map it until it's open. Just drag that deb down here. Here's a cool trick. Did you know you could do this, people? You can do apt install fully qualified path to a deb. Doink. You can have to use sudo though. I don't know if you knew that as well. And it'll install it. And if it's a package that has dependencies, that's not me. If it's a package that has dependencies, it'll automatically suck in the dependencies. So you can apt install and full path to a package, which is something I found out about a couple of years ago. It's pretty nifty. Right. That worked. Did you see that? That didn't complain, Bill. I'm going to say that's good news. What beer would be your daily driver? Well, today I am driving with Old Speckled Hen. This is one of my favourites for at home because out of the can it's actually quite decent. A lot of beers out of cans are a bit ropey. So that's what I tend to drink you know, at home, because it's, well, until last week it was abundant. Everything got rinsed in the supermarkets, but all being well, I'll have a case of that arriving tomorrow. But when I go to the pub, I drink Tanglefoot or London Pride. And that's when I'm not drinking whiskey, of course. Right, so I think the next test is we have to fire up Tweak, and we say change this to Compiz. Bother. That didn't work, did it? Why didn't that work? I think I know why that didn't work. I haven't actually... Oh no, I should have told it. Okay. That's somewhat annoying. Oh, I've broken myself now, haven't I? Can I recover from this situation from here? Yes. most window managers respond to that switch there, -- replace, and then background it, and you should be able to bring. So I need to look in etc compiz config, and there is indeed a configuration file in there. Let's just bring in the settings manager and see what it thinks it can see. Well, that's there. Oops. Why has that not worked? That's not background. Ugh. Ah, I know why. Let's have a think about this. Oh, maybe I can flip through there. That's handy. We'll leave you open. Right, I should just come out. I'm just having a little think here because this is this looks like it's going to be more complicated than I had envisaged. That bit's definitely working, but the piece that we were looking at earlier was this second file. User share compiz config. I've never used that path. So what got removed? Ah. Oh, what? Oh, well, we're screwed. It's been completely removed. There's no way I can restore that. Not without reverting some of these commits. So they've removed all of the supporting pieces as well. So that was a one-way change they've made there. Awesome. I'll have to try and fix this another way. So the issue here is that you upgrade. Maybe we can supply this file. Thinking about it. This is not us. That we've done. So actually, this is worrying. General. This feels very unnecessary to remove this support. Okay, Bill's got another discussion. I'm just going to have a look in the chat. I just need to think about this. I can add this missing profile file here. But I don't think that's going to help us because this here has changed, and that is the glue that we would need for this to work. What did they do for Unity? Remove. Let's just see what I did here. Gosh. Did the same here. I didn't see anything to overcome this in the one that put it back. Oh, okay, they provide some config files. Where are those though? Oh, here. Okay, that's what we know about. Ini file. Ah, okay. 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 More work to do. Okay. I get it now. Penny's dropped. This actually changes the behaviour quite a bit. Okay, I'm going to catch up in chat. I know what I need to do. I've got some moments of work ahead of me, and I'm just going to just compose myself before I get into that. So, where are we? Gosh. Is my chair the Titan? Yes, this is the Secret Lab Titan. The only thing that I don't like about it is these things. I hate these cushiony things that you get on these chairs. They're rubbish. As you can see, it's on the back of my thing. I never use it, but yeah, it's the Secret Lab Titan. It's great. I've had this for a couple of years now. I'm very happy with it, and it's as good today as it was when I first got it. Okay, Bill says he threw the link in Telegram. I can't look there. I don't have Telegram open because otherwise it bing bongs all the time. Right, however, I know what we need to do now. So we need to go and create this file here for Mate, the contents of which I need to get from the here. No, here in fact. Right, where did that used to get installed to, I wonder? User share Compiz config. Okay. I believe this is going to be called mate.conf. And then we also need to create what was the other bit that got removed? This profile file, which was in etc session.d. And this was called Okay, so now we need to add those to the install file. That's already in there, so we now need to add user share. Right, okay, let's have another go at building that. In fact, actually, we can cheat here. I can do a quick and dirty deb build locally. This will save us some time. Whoa, check me out. And then we'll find our running VM here. We'll fire up the file manager. We will say we want to go to this is why I automatically enable SMB pass-through in the VM, because now I can go and pick up that deb that I've just built. I can't be doing with icon view. This was in Ubuntu MATE. Unconfigured environments. Ubuntu MATE settings. Let's just have a quick straw poll. What do you think? Folder view or list view? Which do you use in your file managers? I'm going to have to find Ubuntu MATE settings. That's the one, isn't it? Let's just get that installed. That's not my error. Okay. So we can check that installed correctly by just having a quick look in X11 session.d. There it is, there's that file, and user share compiz config. There it is. Okay, let's log out. I wonder if this is going to pick up the session change. Not sure about that. Let's just fire up Mate tweak whilst we're here and get to the right page, because that will be our recovery position if it all goes wrong. Fiddle. So I think I can't do this test without doing a clean boot, so I need to install. So let's do that. So what we're doing, we've got list, folder, a mixture. Of course you have a mixture, why wouldn't you? And list view. Interesting. Maybe I'll change the default to list view then, because that's my preference. So maybe I'll do that. Straw poll data is good enough. Oh, hello. What did I do there? I don't want to be in Russia. That will confuse the heck out of everything. Please. There we go. Oh. We don't need my surname in a test machine. Ooh, Mountain, eh? How exciting. Oh, yeah, it's the new installer artwork. Actually, I haven't seen this since I made these changes. Also, it's nice to see that this all got merged. So we've got new slideshows in Ubuntu MATE for the 2004 release, and here they are. Celebrating some of the features of our own. There's the obligatory focal hat tip. Now, I've got that in the appearance. Right. Okay, I chose to put that in there. Okay, interesting. Right. Why is Kai peeved? He says in chat. So the reason I'm waiting for this install to complete is that I can't test this package without being able to bring it up with a session. And it's no bad thing updating my VM. I can test some other stuff. I think maybe not tomorrow, but the next day I'm going to do some work on Ubuntu MATE Welcome, and I will need a VM for that. What do we think so far? Who's feeling inspired to do this sort of thing? It's a lot of waiting around, it turns out. I mean, I could be doing something else, but I can't be bothered. What domain is it you want, Kai? Is this for Lumina? Come on, little VM faster. So Adam has kind words to say that he may not be inspired to work on Ubuntu MATE stuff. No, that's not my intention. I'm not suggesting that, you know, if you watch this stream you have to work on Ubuntu MATE, and you will have seen I'm not just working on Ubuntu MATE on this stream. I am at the moment because I've got some time sensitive stuff I need to clear off my plate. But yeah, if you're feeling inspired to work on another distro or Ubuntu maybe, that would be fantastic. I mean, you've got your head screwed on the right way. You have sensible things to say. I'd be delighted to see you contributing to Ubuntu. No. So I think for contrast, so Bill is saying in chat that I'm not inspiring him to maintain deb packages. To be fair, this Compiz one is a bit of a thorny one because it's taking some data out of one package and putting it in another. It's a bit of a mess. You saw earlier we did the Marco thing. Oh, by the way, I should upload Marco, right? That's been tested now. I think that's good to go. So let's go and do that. Actually, we can do something interesting whilst that's going along. Here we go. In fact, let's bring up a. Oh, what have I done here? Oh, I'm on the wrong. There we go. Let's go to. No, this is Debian. So we've got a couple of changes here. So we're just going to add those two files with a well formatted message so that it keeps the automated systems in Debian happy, or at least the ones we have for MATE. So, Adam, I'd be interested to know, what do you think it is you'd like to work on? You know, not distro, but, you know, what stuff would you be interested in contributing to? Boink. So, that's that patch that we added. That's pushed up to Debian. So now, we'll look at the change log, and this is going to be 1-Ubuntu 1. We can drop the suffix because that's what I use in the PPAs to keep the versions low. We'll build a new source package which will get signed, and then we're just going to jam that directly in the archive. And I'm doing this so quickly that if Bill is screaming no into the chat room, I will never know about it. I'm sure it'll be fine. It'll be fine. Right then. That's Marco done, Bill. You can cross that off the document of outstanding issues. We'll consider that fixed unless somebody tells us otherwise. and I can see my VM here as finished, so we'll restart now. Let's see if this works. This is one of those features that often degrades as we get to the end of the cycle. And the feature I'm referring to is the one that says this, in fact, that this very screen often doesn't work. Bloody hell, look at that. Go us. So this should boot up. I'll install any updates and then I'll shut it down. Right then, so you've got someone new in the chat here, Michael. Hello, Michael. Thanks for joining. We're a long time in. I've lost count of how long have we been doing this now. We had half an hour of fanning around at the beginning because I screwed up the audio somehow. Thank you for mashing the like button. Gold star, well done. Is there anyone here who's interested in library or watches stuff on library? Oh, that's an interesting observation. So Colin's suggesting that it's folder view for new users and file view for experienced users. It's a good bit of insight, that. Good bit of insight. Yeah, I think you could be right there. Let's get the updates from today. What? Alexa, shut up. Honestly, never says a thing unless I'm live streaming. That's the second time that's happened. What's in our upgrade list? Anything? Artwork. Oh, that's the stuff we uploaded yesterday. So here's the product of last night's stream. We have a new set of... We're going to scroll by any moment. Let's have a look. There'll be big packages. So we've got the new Mate menu, which had a fix from Victor. We've got the new Mate Power Manager. The new Session Manager. Well, I can't even remember what that was. A fix for the backup tool. And then the artwork packages, and that's what we worked on last night. So that's nifty. So Corazin and Michael are both saying that they've used library in the past. Yeah, can't watch stuff on there with the kids around. So I've decided. So all of my stuff is on library as well. I'm uploading these things after the fact to library. Although I have found out today that I could have synchronized my YouTube account, so I've requested that gets set up, but I don't know if that means I have to have a new channel on library or if I can like use an existing one. But I want to try and keep the two in sync. I know that some people that move in Linux and open source circles would prefer if library were an option, so I'm trying to do my bit to satisfy them. So we'll shut down this one and we'll use an awesome feature of QuickMU, which is to create a snapshot. There we go, snapshot taken, and then we'll fire that one back up so I can roll back to this position. See what I did there? I can now go in a loop and test this stuff. In fact, actually, we'll use another feature of here it is the machine. I'm just going to kill it unceremoniously in 3, 2, 1. Oh, actually, let's be nice to it. What we'll do is we will use the status quo feature. So I can go in a loop of testing. What's the status quo feature does in QuickMU? QuickMU is a little utility that I've been writing on these live streams earlier in the or last week actually. and the idea is it's a simple way to just manipulate QEMU. So the status quo feature will prevent any... just realised it's on there. Hello, here's the window. Will prevent any changes that I'm about to do being written to the disk, so I can do my tests and then I can shut the box down, and then it's back in the state it was before I made any changes, and I can go around in a loop there quite quickly and test this out. So if we apt add the playground repository, do you like what I did there? Is that clearly signposted enough, do you think? Let's see if those packages actually landed. Yes, they have. So, gosh, I need that big old string of stuff, don't I, for Compiz? Ooh. So that's Compiz, which we know isn't going to work. So now we'll upgrade using the packages that are in the PPA. Oh, that's 1.0. I need to actually do what I did last time, which is bring up the I built a package locally which has got the new stuff in it. Let's see if I can do it in folder view. What project am I working on here? This is Ubuntu MATE. And now what? Ubuntu MATE. In fact, they'll be in here somewhere. Oh gosh. See, I immediately hate my live choices. 1.1. That's the live settings. There's the default settings. Install. An older version. That's fine. So this is definitely. Yeah, we're still going. Right then. So, I need to... Oh, bugger. This was a massive waste of time. I actually needed to install this stuff. Go away. This isn't going to work. So I've just realised I need to actually not install this in a transient session. I need to actually install these things in an actual session, then snapshot it, and that's my place to test. Bother. This will not always send telemetry data. Always send the telemetry data. Particularly for Ubuntu MATE, it boosts my ego. This is not going to work, I'm pretty certain. That's our fallback. Yeah, as I expected, not working. So yeah, this is why some evenings I'm sat at my desk until 2 o'clock in the morning, because you have to go around these loops a few times. Oh, what's that? Ah, we want this one, don't we, Bill? I think we saw this one earlier today, so we'll let that one work. And oh no, that's a different error. That's not the error we saw today. What's this? Blue Man crashed with a file not found error check in check single instance. Home username? What? Well, that's interesting. This problem was already reported. Okay, I'll go and find that one later. Well, not this evening, but another time. Oh, but it doesn't like the URL. Curious. Right. No, not Mate this time. So I'm going to reinstall Compiz actually on the system. I'm then going to install what we believe to be our fixed packages. And then I'm going to shut down and snapshot the system. And then at that point I'll start up and the session manager will be told, aha, this is Mate, and hopefully configure Compiz appropriately, and it all should just work. And if it doesn't, I'm going to cry into my beer and probably go to bed or something. Right, so let's go and grab this again. Oh, anyone new there? So Bill says those aren't in the PPA yet. No, I didn't. Did I? I built it locally because I was. Oops, that's the wrong way round. Right, I've remembered. I'm definitely working on Ubuntu Mate. It's the green edition we're doing at the moment. Don't need to go in there. These should be sitting around here somewhere. Ubuntu Mate settings, default. 1.1, install that thing. Yep, that's good. Install. My password is test. It is on my VMs. That's because sometimes Windows don't switch focus correctly and I have a different password in my VMs. If I'm accidentally got Telegram open and I type test, doesn't matter. No passwords were exposed. Right, shut down and we'll snapshot that VM and we'll call this Compiz config, and we'll start this up with status quo. I don't want the VM changing now. So Bill in chat is saying that, talking of the desktop team, he really enjoyed Heather Ellsworth's appearance on the Brunch with Brent show, which is part of the Jupiter's Extras podcast. I have to say, I'm delighted that I work with Heather on the desktop team now. Hang on, I've got the window on the wrong screen again. Nope, it's on the right screen. What's going on? What am I doing? Oh, there we go. Yeah, Heather's excellent. In fact, all the desktop team are excellent. Best team in Canonical, without a doubt. Right. Let's see if we can see glorious success or a big fat fail. Just move you there. We don't need you for the moment. Let's just go for it. Right, take your bets. I reckon there's a 50-50 chance of this working. And I actually mean that's 50-50. Here we go. Bugger. That didn't work then. So, I need to do some more research there, and it's getting late. So, I think I will pause that particular investigation and come back to it, because I'm pretty certain that this is doing what it should do, but I obviously haven't spent enough time looking at what the new implementation for the configuration is to pick that up. So let's just switch window managers here to get a functioning system back. Just for lols, we'll try it here. Huh. Well, there's disappointing. Is it that disappointing though? Because look, this is the default behavior in Mate now. Actual pretty things. Alt tab switching pretty. Thumbnails pretty. And other things. What is it? The workspace switches are now not ugly. Well, I think, what's the phrase? On that bombshell? I think I need to go away and do some more research. Still, we have fixed Marco, and that's the default window manager, so that's the important job. I shall have a chat with the rest of the team. Thanks, Bill, yourself included in this discussion, to figure out what we do next about Compiz. So thank you everyone for coming. I know these are a bit odd and they're a bit quirky, and it's not your usual live stream. This is, I'm not much of a computer games player. I obviously like the old retro stuff. This is what I do for fun. Maybe it doesn't look like I'm having fun, but I am enjoying myself. I do like tinkering with stuff like this. Not just this, but look at the channel. I've been doing other sorts of development as well. So I'm like a game streamer, except my game is software development, and I'm a mediocre software developer these days. But this is how I have fun. So thank you for joining. I won't be streaming tomorrow night because I'll be recording the first episode of Ubuntu Podcast Season 13 with my friends Alan and Mark. So won't be doing this tomorrow night. But I'll probably be back on Wednesday to pick up some loose ends. I think the next stream I'll do will be about Ubuntu Mate Welcome. Although I really want to do one about creating a script to turn a Raspberry Pi into an Ubuntu Mate install. I think that would be fun. And I've got somewhere here, in fact, I dug out another HDMI capture device. So I've got one in that drives this display we're looking at now, and I thought I could plug a Raspberry Pi into this one, and I could have another scene in OBS, and I can overlay myself on the Raspberry Pi as we live figure out how to install desktop environments on a Raspberry Pi from the Ubuntu pre-install. So yeah, this is something I got at Christmas with vouchers from Amazon. So if anyone's wondering, that's that one. It's apparently good, although I haven't actually tested it yet, so I don't know. The one I'm using in the back of this I got ages ago, and it was mega expensive. It's a Magewell device. They were about 300 bucks, so bit pricey. This was 90 quid, so a lot less expensive, and it looks like it does much the same thing, except this one has got USB out, so that presents itself as a webcam effectively, an HDMI in, but the other end there's an HDMI out, and apparently this is low latency splitter, so you can pass the signal through, and it will strip HDCP as well apparently, so you can do game console stuff on it if that's your thing. It's a mirror box. Hopefully that's in focus. Right, so I'll be using that to do some Raspberry Pi stuff, hopefully. It's about the size of a Raspberry Pi. I wonder if I could jam a Raspberry Pi in there. Bet you could. Right, so that's me done. Thank you everyone for coming. I really appreciate your support, and I do enjoy your company. It makes these much more enjoyable. So thank you all, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye for now, everyone.